Hello there, I'm Hobgoblin and welcome to not Hobbs Farm. Actually, this is region of Texas. Now, this is actually the map I used to create Hobbs Farm. I enjoyed this map a lot, but it always felt a little unfinished. But I love the field layouts, big fields and stuff like that was always the stuff I really liked. It's the stuff that the people seem to enjoy about Hobbs Farm. It's though, if you like that kind of thing, then Hobbs Farm has that kind of feel to it, sort of industrial farming and all of that. But yeah, this is where it started. Now, I have had a quick look around here, and this is a slightly different version of Region of Texas to the one I used to create Hobbs Farm. The only real place that is different, or is really different, is here in the actual farm itself. In the version I had, there was a row of silos. There's different parking areas, but this part's more or less the same. As you can see, the beef and pig masts fattening by here. A lot more flickering textures, which is awful. I think this must be a slightly early iteration of the map. But yeah, this little part of the farm was the same, and the grain unloading area was in the same place. Although it had a cover on it, which caused no end of lag. And you see all the quantities of stuff. I mean, this is just a fresh map start. I just sold everything to buy that vehicle, and I learned how to change the language and all that, and so this is a bit different. It's quite a bit nice with a storage area and stuff like that in there, but it's far too many flickering textures. So, since we started over here, and obviously no big silos, we went obviously from version 3 onwards, we have big silos, which seems to now dominate the skyline around here, which it wasn't intentional when I put it up there, but now I kind of like never get rid of those. So here on Hobbs Farm version 3 and 3.5 is about to be released and is in fact uploading as I'm recording this. These are now this is the area where you load and unload your grain, and you would come in about here, and the two unloading areas would be there, and you'd be looking at that. Let's bring up the map, and looking just above you can see field 1, which actually kicks in on here. It's funny, those little things you forget, because I actually forgot that happened. I basically made field 1 into a squared off field, a rectangled off, should I say. Field 14 is now up where the Matadero shows itself as being at the moment, and I got rid of that. Field 1 was extended out to cover that gap. The road no longer kinks inwards, it actually goes all the way up the outside of that edge, and field 2 and 3 also extend out there. And yeah, it made such a big, I think it made a huge difference. I think, it's that industrial thing, like I was saying, it's what Hobbs Farm Now is all about. And I also, like here where there's grass, there's now kind of a bit of gravel, and this road is a little narrower, but the grass has been cut back a little bit. You've got the gravel area, which is the area where all your vehicles respawn, because they used to just spawn out here, and they kind of respawn out into the road, so it created a gravelled area which kind of separates out the two, so you can actually see where the vehicles respawn if you set them. this part's not so different. But obviously here they would come back in at somewhere around here. And you got the new sheds where you can come in the back of the sheds. Opened up a little gap about here. That got opened up there as well. You can get into the back of what is now the livestock farm. I mean, in this version they were more intermingled. You've got the grain areas up. These are still exactly the same place. We've never moved them, never touched them. Had another storage there, which you can either use for vehicles or for your hay bales and stuff. And this is the original loading and unloading area for your grass and your chaff and all that sort of stuff, straw. My apologies. I'm absolutely fine. I just seem to have a tickle in my nose that's causing me to sneeze. I notice there's no wool pallet collector in this version as well, so I think this must be an earlier iteration of the map. And I think you played around with it a bit over 2 or 3 different versions. I mean, I opened up all the bottom of here now. There's no continuation of these trees. They're a bit too regular for me. I don't really like things though. They're too regular. Nature isn't regular. You can put a certain amount of trees in a straight line and that's fine, but there was just too much. So those are no gun, and that's where the pig and cattle fattening is, and that is actually a road as well. There's no road here, which there was in, which I've since put in for my version, and as well as the little extra hall here. We'll put an elevator on your thing for your dung there, and also put some fueling in here, so you can refuel in this area. This road more or less the same, hasn't really changed that much. Field 12 to my left here, there's, I think, exactly the same. I don't think I did anything with that. There were some areas where there was grass in it, which I sorted out, but other than that, it's more or less the same. The reason I started all of this was this path down to the shop. It was just painted on, and it was just brutal. Some of the vehicles couldn't even drive up this slope. It was a ridiculous slope. And again here, I mean, it just goes so steep. You know, if you wanted that, you can. I mean, now, like on my version, there's a kind of shortcut that goes up about here. And you know, if you've got a vehicle that can do the steep slope, and you just want a quick way up, yep, you can take a shortcut up there. But field 13, more or less the same. Got rid of those trees. But wow, this. Up till version 2.5, this was the story on mine. I moved the sell point over, but otherwise this is more or less what it was like. But for the latest version, that all got bug. That wall extends all the way down, but it's now rock rather than grass. And yeah, this goes back, and of course you've got the. Yeah, I remember moving this actually. I'd forgotten it was here, but I remember actually moving that, removing that hill there. Anyway, side point. Yeah, and the scrapyard would be over here, and the garden centre over there. And you can get out there on mine as well. So let's pop round the outside here. God, this looks so different. There where you can sell your wool is not so different, but I created an entrance here, and I actually completely forgot that I created that entrance. I Yeah, I don't even remember that I did that, but I did. This is things that kind of annoyed me about this map. It was such a shame. Such a good map, such a good design, but there was just things that weren't finished. Things like the roads, that curve like that, it's clear. But yeah, this is more or less the same in here. Say they've got that extra entrance. Yeah, there's land that are just a perfect straight line. Again, it was like, yeah, it's too straight, too perfect. Got rid of those. The Matadero, which I used the walls for that, and I recreated it sort of behind here. And this becomes the beginning of Field 14. There is just, yeah, just disappears off the edge. There's nothing to stop you falling off, so I did all of that. Then I'm going to cut around the back of here, so this would be Field 14 that I'd be running across now, if I were on mine. See where it drops down. I kind of like sorted all that out, and so all that is the big slope up that I changed all the road. The original, like I said before, the original point of all this was to change that. And yeah, move this crossing. That's further up. You actually come in up here somewhere. It's about here somewhere, and you drive. We've got a much better curve in. And we'd be looking at Field 4 there, and over there, just going through this, over there is where I built the small northern forest. I used the shed that's still there, but I created the car loop around it, but it's more or less the same here. This is the other slope. Oh yeah, there's the other thing that kind of annoyed me. You can actually see the wall coming through, so it's like, yeah. They're little details, but kind of, kind of think they're important. Try not to ram myself on the rails. This is another one of those areas where the map wasn't really finished. So again, I recreated this slope. It goes much further over. It kind of comes over here. Then you get the big cliff face that drops down towards Field 4, and bits of crops growing on the edge of the rocks and stuff like that. I think it curves over on that, but anyway, you come around here and there's a forest on the side here, so we come over to the BGA. The BGA is not hugely different. Some of these roads are a little different out here. They're added in different bits. There's no roof. I only added that in. In fact, I don't even think the release version has a roof on it. Oh yeah, it does. Sorry, tell a lie. Yes, it does. Version 3 has the roof, and that is awful. That doesn't exist though in. Doesn't exist in my one, but oh god, that's so awful. Flickering stuff all over the place. Those that know me know I hate flicker. I'm not saying I can manage ways to completely eliminate flicker, but I really don't like it. But yeah, so I ended up, there was a different ramp in there in my version as well, which isn't in this one, but grass growing through the roads, it's like seriously, it took me ages to get rid of some of that. But anyway, yeah, so I added a ramp. In fact, I changed that ramp for the latest version, which I think is a lot nicer now. The old ramp I didn't like. So we run down here. There's a kind of bit of a dirt track. There was a road on the last one which goes all the way into the back of the livestock farm now, which isn't there in this, and there's a dirt road there which isn't in this one. here as well, if you can see field 9, which I'm alongside now, you can see there's a corner cut out of it by field 7, which in my version it doesn't. It's actually squared off, and field 7 isn't as tall. It's a much smaller field, field 7, but it's longer. It actually comes underneath, comes further underneath field 9, and that's one of the two grass fields in the game in Hobbs Farm. The other thing you might notice from driving down here is there's no unloading areas here, and that's because they're on one like kind of industrial estate here, which is a nice idea. They're all a bit too cramped up. They come around. This is the original garden centre. In fact, I only just managed to find the thing that actually shows you the garden centre, and managed to move it so that it's not trying to tell you that the garden centre is still up here. Those buildings are now gone. This one has just been moved and is up by the side of field 9. The BGA is next to the garage, which you can just see below where I am now. You'll be able to see in the picture, but you can see on the map, I mean, the way bridges, which I moved over to the farm and recreated a few times. And the windmill, which would be sort of behind where I am at the moment. And yeah, we'd be looking now. I mean, this is, I think this is interesting. All you can see from here is a pump. As you get closer, the pump disappears and the rest of the garage appears instead. Yeah, don't know what that was all about, but in mind there's a road here, it comes out, and much bigger garage, and the BGA is, sorry, not the BGA, the biomass, my apologies, is just over there on the grass, and that's the road coming through. Another thing I did was add a lot of trees in this area. This thing's a mountain goat, it really is. So it's basically impossible for it to do that. Doing this because there's nothing else interesting up this area going along. I mean, you know, it's one of the things, like, I had a lot of trees and stuff like it, because it just felt like you kind of want something to look at as you're coming down. It wants to have a certain amount of character. I felt that the spaces were a bit boring. I'm going to come down off of here now, stop playing, and we'll have a look at the woods. I'll call them forest, because one of the massive differences, what I did here is I got rid of field 4, moved it up to the top, and that's up in the northwest corner of the map now, with field 14 next to it. As you look at the map here, you can see where field 1 actually extends out to where field 14 is. Same with 2 and 3, they fill the gap where 14 is. The road goes straight up the side, but it goes over the top of what on here is field 4, and this whole area here, all the field 4 and the forest as it existed before, is now all one big forest. And so rather than turn there, you would actually, carrying up here, the road continues up, and then at this point the road goes round to the right. I think it might go a little bit earlier than that, but anyway, the rest of that is dirt, but this is like a concrete road now. It's comes down here, and then turns upwards around here somewhere. I don't even think it follows the original path anymore. Actually, I think it's actually further over. But yeah, around here somewhere, the road continues up. And if you're looking from here, I mean, where you can see the trees there is the farm, and of course that would now be dominated by those big old silos, which kind of tell you from anywhere that you're on Hobbs Farm. Which I think is wonderful, but it's just because it was so unintended, it was completely unintended, one of those accidental things. This is now a dirt road too. That's now a dirt road. I made that dirt road. It was just to encourage the idea of 2 and 3 becoming one field. Whereas this is a bit lower than that, but about here. To my right, that became part of field 1, and you got field 2, which became not quite so tall, but became longer because it filled the gap where 14 used to be behind there. So there you have it, region of Texas. Like I said, slightly different versions of the one but most details are the same. It's just really the 2 farms are a little bit different. And it's just really interesting for me to come back and have a look at this because it surprises me just how much difference there is. So I'm actually going to have a look now at one of my sort of slightly earlier iterations of Hobbs Farm, and then I'll do a kind of a preview run. It won't be a preview run because it'll probably get released after the map's been out a while, but nevertheless I will be going through Hobbs Farm 3.5 and having a look around there. Yeah, what a difference. Just looking around now, it's like, wow. Never expected to have it change so much. You know, I was just originally going to do that slope up from the shop, and can't believe it, how much has changed since. But it's been great fun doing it. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm Hobgoblin, and yeah, I hope you join me in another video. Catch up with you later. Bye for now.